What if I told you there's a lost chapter of Genesis ... An ancient, mysterious text that speaks of events that God himself allegedly removed from the Bible? A story forgotten in time, hidden among scrolls and apocryphal fragments, capable of completely changing what we believe about creation, the fall, and the beginning of humanity. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? But what if this chapter really existed and was purposefully hidden? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover may surprise you. For centuries, scholars, theologians, and archaeologists have pored over ancient manuscripts found in caves, temples, and deserts. Among them have emerged texts not found in modern versions of the Bible writings, considered dangerous, heretical, or simply uninspired. But some of these texts speak directly to the book of Genesis, revealing details that seem to fill in gaps we've all felt when reading the creation story. Have you ever had that feeling? That something was missing between the lines of Scripture? The lost chapter of Genesis, it's one of those stories that defies logic and faith. It's mentioned in ancient Jewish traditions and appears fragmentarily in some manuscripts rejected by the biblical canon. According to some interpretations, this text describes a moment before the emergence of Adam and Eve, a primordial creation, a previous humanity, perhaps even a celestial conflict that sealed Earth's fate before Eden even existed. Imagine if this were the reason behind divine silence on certain mysteries of origin. The idea that God would remove something from the Bible provokes a mixture of fascination and fear. After all, what could be so revealing that it needed to be erased from sacred history? Could this lost chapter have spoken about fallen angels, the war in heaven, or civilizations that existed before the flood? Many scholars associate this content with other forbidden texts, such as the Book of Enoch and the Apocalypse of Moses, which were also excluded from Scripture and describe hidden events between heaven and earth. The curious thing is that the more one studies Genesis, the more questions arise. Why does God say, "Let us make man in our image," as if other beings were involved? Why does the text speak of giants who inhabited the earth before the flood? And who were the sons of God, who truly intermarried with the daughters of men? These are ancient questions, but the supposedly lost chapter seems to answer them in a way many have found too disturbing to remain in the pages of the Bible. Some believe this removal was not a divine act, but a human one. That religious leaders of the past chose to conceal certain truths to maintain control of faith and the spiritual narrative. Others argue that it was God himself who inspired this exclusion, perhaps to protect humanity from knowledge it was not yet ready to comprehend. Whatever the truth, the mystery continues to echo across generations, a silent invitation to seek what has been forgotten. But one thing is certain: if this text truly existed, it may reveal profound secrets about the purpose of creation, the origin of evil, and the true spiritual battle that shaped human history. And perhaps, by understanding what was removed, we can see with new eyes what remains. In the next few minutes, you will learn the most intriguing theories about this lost chapter of Genesis, the accounts that have survived, and why this story still causes so much discomfort among scholars and religious people. Get ready, because what comes next may change everything you think about the beginning of the Bible. Perhaps most unsettling of all is realizing how this mystery awakens something within us, a curiosity that transcends time, a sense that we were made to understand something greater, something that has remained hidden in the shadows of history. When we look at Genesis from this perspective, it seems that each word carries a deeper meaning, as if there were a divine secret waiting to be rediscovered. It is at this point that many begin to wonder, what else might be hidden between the lines of the Bible? And most importantly, why do certain truths seem to have been erased? If this topic resonates with you, if it awakens that same restlessness and desire to understand more about what really happened in the beginning, leave a comment below with what has touched you most so far. Do you believe God could have removed something from His own word? Or do you think humanity interfered in this process? Your opinion is important, not just to me, but to everyone here seeking the same answers. This space is for that, for us to reflect together, exchange ideas, and delve deeper into these mysteries that time has tried to silence. And if this content resonates with you, if it somehow raised new questions or opened a new perspective on Scripture, please leave a like right now. It may seem like a simple gesture, but when you like the video, YouTube understands that this kind of message needs to reach more people, and that's how this community grows, and how more people come to know truths that were almost lost. Also, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, because here we continue to uncover the hidden secrets of the Bible, exploring forgotten texts and stories few have the courage to tell. And by subscribing, you don't just tune in to the next episode, you become part of a group seeking something deeper, not content with ready-made answers. Your presence here makes all the difference, because it's your support that keeps this journey alive and allows new voices to join us. So take a deep breath, because what comes next will take you even deeper into this mystery. Let's continue this search together for lost chapter of Genesis and understand what was really hidden and why. The book of Genesis is the starting point of all human history. It is the first breath of creation, the beginning of light, life, and the choices that would define humanity's destiny. It is there that everything begins, the encounter between the divine and the earthly, purity and the fall, obedience and rebellion. Genesis is not just an ancient account. It is the spiritual map that reveals how we were formed and why the world is the way it is. Each verse carries a symbol, a hidden key, a hidden truth about our own origin. When we understand this, we realize that Genesis is not just about the past. It speaks of transformation, purpose, and the decisions that shape who we are today. And that is precisely why the idea of something having been removed from this narrative is so powerful. If the beginning was altered, what else might have been distorted along the way? This question changes everything, because it shakes the foundations of faith and history. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, delve into the revelations surrounding this lost chapter, and understand what might be hidden between the lines of humanity's first book. Comment: that makes sense to me. Among the forgotten archives of history, there are manuscripts that seem to whisper truths that time has tried to erase. These are ancient texts, often called apocrypha, discovered in caves, temples, and deserts, written in nearly indecipherable languages. Some of these fragments speak of events that allegedly occurred even before Adam and Eve existed, an era before humanity as we know it. Researchers and theologians have pored over these records, and what they've found defies both faith and reason. The descriptions speak of celestial beings, of light and shadow, of a creation that was destroyed before the creation we know. It's as if there were a chapter hidden within the pages of Genesis, a piece that completes the puzzle, but was purposefully left out. The impact of this revelation goes far beyond religion. It touches our mindset, our understanding of the divine, and even the purpose of existence. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding what these manuscripts really say could change everything we think about the origins of humanity. Right there, I'm on this journey too. According to the oldest fragments, this lost chapter described a creation prior to that of Adam and Eve, a world inhabited by beings who walked between light and darkness, endowed with power and consciousness, but who strayed from God's will. Some manuscripts speak of creatures made of the same divine breath, but corrupted by their own ambition. They defied the Creator, seeking to dominate creation and alter the course of the heavenly plan. So God, in an act of justice and renewal, erased this first humanity, starting over from scratch. Imagine the impact of this. The Genesis we know would actually be God's second attempt to restore harmony to the universe. This idea completely changes the way we understand the fall, sin, and even the purpose of redemption. It's like looking behind the scenes of creation and realizing there's much more to the story than what's been told. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because the revelations that follow may expose the true reason this chapter was erased. Comment: that makes sense to me. Interestingly, when we place this supposed lost chapter side by side with the Book of Enoch, the similarities become too disturbing to be coincidence. Enoch describes beings called watchers angels who descended to earth and taught humanity secrets that were not meant to be revealed. They speak of weapons, spells, astrology, enchantments, and power. The consequence was chaos, a mixture of the divine and the earthly that corrupted the natural order of creation. It's as if the lost chapter of Genesis and the book of Enoch tell two sides of the same story. The rebellion of a creation that dared to exceed the limits imposed by God. And when we recognize this pattern, a hidden truth begins to emerge. Texts like Enoch, Jubilees, and even the Apocalypse of Moses were silenced in the same way. Was it divine or human censorship? Perhaps both. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding this pattern can reveal why certain secrets needed to remain hidden. Write it down. I'm on this journey too. If this chapter truly existed, an inevitable question arises: why would God have allowed it to be removed? Was it an act of protection, a spiritual mystery that humanity was not yet ready to comprehend? Or did the decision come from human hands, guided by fear of the impact this truth could cause? It's curious to think that sometimes God's silence is also a form of response. Perhaps certain revelations need to mature within us before being understood. On the other hand, history shows that power has always tried to control knowledge, to decide what should be read, what should be forgotten. What if this lost chapter was silenced precisely because it revealed too much about the origin of evil, the fall of celestial beings, and the true purpose of humanity? It's a reflection that affects faith, mindset, and even how we view divine justice. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding the possible reasons for this removal can reveal something about the very nature of God. Comment: that makes sense to me. If part of our origins has been erased, this completely changes how we view humanity and our own purpose. Every decision, every choice we make, can be seen in a new light when we consider that there was a chapter that was silenced, a story that could reveal who we truly are and why we are here. Perhaps this exclusion has created gaps in our understanding of good, evil, and even the role of free will in the evolution of human consciousness. It's as if we are living in an edited version of reality, without access to information that could transform our mindset and beliefs. This absence leaves questions that resonate to this day. What knowledge was lost? What lessons could have shaped our journey more profoundly? And if we understand these gaps, perhaps we can see behind the scenes of creation, the true intentions behind divine decisions, and how our lives intertwine with the hidden plan of the universe. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, exploring how these hidden truths impact not only the past, but also the way we construct our own reality. Right there, I'm on this journey too. Faced with such a controversial chapter, the opinions of scholars and theologians are strikingly divided. Some firmly assert that any mention of this earlier creation would be heresy, a dangerous distortion that could shake the foundations of faith. For them, the exclusion of this text is a protection of sacred truth, a way of maintaining the purity of the divine message. On the other hand, there are researchers who see historical and archaeological evidence that cannot be ignored. Fragments, ancient translations, and records from neighboring cultures suggest that something truly existed before Adam and Eve, and that the version of Genesis we know is only part of the whole story. This divergence reveals much more than an academic debate. It reveals the behind-the-scenes decisions that shaped faith, the interpretation of Scripture, and even our own thinking about the origins of humanity. With each analysis, new questions arise about hidden truth, impact, and revelations that could transform our understanding of the divine. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, exploring how these different views can lead us to see layers that almost no one dares to consider. Comment there: that makes sense to me. Perhaps the true mystery lies not only in the lost chapter, but in what it reveals to us about our own journey, about the choices we make and the paths we follow. Each fragment, each hidden truth, suggests that the fall and redemption are not merely historical events, but reflections of an inner transformation we all face. It's as if humanity's mistakes and successes echo ancient decisions, symbolic teachings about responsibility, awareness, and the impact of our actions. Thinking this way changes our mindset, makes us question patterns, beliefs, and even the way we interpret the divine. The erased story of Genesis connects with our own life story, reminding us that, even in the face of gaps and enigmas, there's always opportunity for learning and growth. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, exploring how these revelations can illuminate the behind-the-scenes of creation and touch our understanding of purpose, faith, and personal evolution. Write it down. I'm on this journey too. If this chapter truly existed, it completely changes how we understand the beginning of humanity and the story of creation. Each lost detail could shed new light on the fall, the emergence of evil, and the role of redemption in each of our lives. Perhaps God chose to hide certain truths to protect humanity from knowledge we weren't yet ready to grasp, or perhaps it was humankind itself that decided to silence what it deemed too dangerous. Thinking about this leads us to reflect on decisions, impact, and even how we view spirituality and our own journey. What could this lost chapter teach us about purpose, transformation, and the choices that shape our lives? Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, exploring how these hidden truths can reveal connections that go beyond recorded history, directly touching our understanding of the divine and the human. Comment: that makes sense to me. If you've made it this far, it means this journey through the lost chapter of Genesis has truly piqued your curiosity. If you want to continue exploring the Bible's hidden secrets and discover more about truths that were nearly lost to time, subscribe to the channel now. That way you can follow each new revelation we bring. And leave a comment saying, "I'm with you until the end. I want to see who truly embarked on this quest into the unknown with me." If this content touched you in any way, give it a like, because that's how we strengthen this connection and continue investigating the mysteries that surround us together. There's a video here that complements this topic. Click and stay with me there, because there's still much to discover about these stories that challenge history and faith.